I'm not encouraging to do the immature attempts. Okay, not everyone not everyone can take failure as a motivation.
They just feel because I want to just go and take the exam to see where I stand. So, what will be your opinion about this?
I think one of that character that in me was built by the research scientist job itself in my journey,
Yes.
because we have a lot of
But
failures.
everybody cannot be research scientists.
All the viewers out there, just listen to me.
And these days, many people are not even getting dates, Sabin, for the exam center. That's another pain point.
Thank God you didn't say failure, said multiple attempts, because for me there is nothing such a word called a failure. It's just another attempt, and if it is not success, then it's a feedback.
And I also want to show the world today the spelling errors you did. Like, Sabin, can you write this kind of a spelling? Really?
Chandra sir, and you already know that Savin has this much level of French. And then I was myself shy to tell you that okay, I don't have this level. I have to. So I was working. I was hiding this fact. Since I was hiding my fact, then I can hide it from you. But when results come out, result won't hide, right? A lot of students wants to know is that what are the materials that I use, right? One of the mistake that I still remember I was making is that long étranger. Imagine.
Today we are making fun of our mistakes. Oh my
Exactly.
God. Today's story is about resilience, discipline, and power of never giving up. Sabit, a research scientist, super proud student of Learn French with Anks, is in our studio today. His journey was completely insightful and inspiring. He not only juggled the demanding career, but he also faced tons of difficulties while learning French because his dream score was CLB 8 in TCF Canada. And guess what? He had to take multiple attempts.
2 TCF exam attempts and still no CLB 7 in all sections. I thought I got trapped in this quicksand of French exam. But I was wrong. I was just doing things wrong way. And you know what? I adapted this one strategy and everything changed. Hi, I'm Sabin, a proud Nepali who scored CLB 8 in TCF Canada exam. If you are also stuck at CLB 4 and CLB 5 and you want to improve that, watch my podcast with Ankita Agrawal on YouTube. Sabin, grand congratulations. Your journey has been truly inspiring. Let's start from the beginning. I really want to know, how did you start your French journey? Thank you very much, Ankita ma'am, for your kind words. Actually, my French learning started the time when I moved to Quebec. Obviously, this is the French environment here in Montreal. And I started French as a dream. You know, I wanted to, since I'm living in Quebec, I should be able to speak French properly. And then, later I found out that to be an expert in French, I have to clear the TCF exam as well. So then I have to go through the journey of this TCF exam preparation with your team. Very nice. Thank you so much. And honestly, you've done a great progress in such a short time. But at the same time, you had to go through the multiple attempts. So I really want to understand, what were the real difficulties that you faced? Because Sabin, answer this me the way a lot of audience is watching this podcast today. And every learner is going through these difficulties. We want to know through you that what exactly you faced and how did you overcome? Yeah, that is actually a very interesting question. The problem that I face personally, because since I'm already living in Quebec, I have some knowledge of French, right?
Yes.
And then I already have this basic way of communicating and everything. And I was very passive speaker and passive listener. And later I found out that in TCF exam, when you have to be expert of the French, then you have to be really an active listener and active speaker. So that was a huge challenge for me. And then to overcome those difficult moments, what I did of the personal strategy that I followed is like every morning I wake up and tell myself, restart, reset, refocus. I need to be active listener. That really helped. Wow. Wow, that is a very good, powerful mantra, I would say. But
as you mentioned, in fact, that you've been working as a research scientist, and that itself is a very demanding job. So that makes me curious to ask, like many learners in Canada, some even does two job, and some when they do 9 to 5 job or even other job, which we know all of us. So how did you really balance your French learning with such a demanding job? Because it needs hour, and you've been doing a great job. So what was your style of managing this?
Yeah, that was another big challenge, I would say, for sure. Because as a research scientist, I was not just working in the laboratory, but I was also mentoring a lot of students. I had to give lectures, I have to teach students, and then I have to extensively use English language in that. And then
Yes.
I have to use like for 8 hours, 9 hours, I have to use English language. And then I have to come back to home, and then I have to switch my French brain to be active part a learner of the French. For that
Right.
moment, I faced a huge challenge. For almost like almost 3 to 4 months, I faced huge challenge
Yeah.
between switching those minds. But
Correct.
later I started meditating. And like what I used to do, I used to come home. I didn't I didn't used to do I didn't used to hurry. I used to come
Mm,
home, so take a shower, have a good good snacks,
mm,
meditate, and after 1 hour, I switch my brain. So then I go to
mm.
friends and start learning.
And that's a very important tip, because meditation is something we all miss because we feel that is also time consuming and we don't have time. And but meditation does help actually to bring more time in life and peace, which
True,
is
true.
needed for this exam.
Yep.
Now, let's get into the exam, Sabin, because when we talk about exam itself, you took multiple attempts. Now, honestly, I'm super proud of your multiple attempts, because I always say people or learners who have taken the multiple attempts, they know always better that what doesn't work. Instead
Mhm.
of the ones who have already just cleared in one attempt, of course, they are also great, I'm sure. But I really want to just understand, what was your experience like?
Yeah, thank God you didn't say failure, you said multiple attempts. Because for me there is nothing such a word called a failure. It's just
Hmm.
another attempt, and if it is not success, then it's a feedback, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
everything will teach you something. So that is the motto that I always carry with me. No, though it is in French or though it other aspects of my life, I always carry that motto. And concerning the multiple attempt, again going back to the same thing is that I was not able to actively produce speaking and writing consistently as well. So
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know that when I was my speaking was kind of consistent. Only one time I had kind
Yeah.
of problem, but my writing sometime I'm getting CLB 8, sometime I'm getting high CLB 6.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'm getting
Yeah.
CLB 8, and sometimes I'm getting CLB 6. So these are really inconsistent in that. But while all those things, what I learned about those things is that while I was doing those attempts, what I was doing is that I was asking myself three important questions. Okay,
Hmm.
this
What
one,
were those?
what worked well?
Hmm.
In my first attempt, I did listening and reading, all C1, C2, everything is done. Okay, listening and reading is done.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then and then what didn't work well? Speaking, I was not happy with my just 10 score,
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then writing, I just got 9 out of 20. So this too didn't work. And then
Hmm.
we really sat down together and then, okay, why it didn't work? What are the real thing that I can improvise on that? It's not just that I'm giving multiple attempts, oh, in hurry, in haste, and then giving, okay, I have to book exam and give it another attempt. No, we really sat down. We took 15
Yes.
days to discuss each and aspect. Okay, this is where I have to work and this and that. And then what that gave me is not just the TCF result, CLB8.
Hmm.
Now it
Hmm.
gave me specific skills so that I can also right now when I'm mentoring my students, I can really give them all those skills in advance so that they don't have to go through the same journey that I went.
Which is amazing. So, so inspiring. And this looks like a honestly an incredible persistence to me. But Sabin, I kind of do not agree with this when students see the result and they call it as failure. And they got CLB 6, they got CLB 5, and they wanted to achieve CLB 7. we usually feel discouraged. It's very difficult to stay motivated. And I still remember that day of January when you called me, ma'am, it did not work. And then we had a chat over a call. And you were so motivated. You were like, it's okay, no problem. We'll just do another attempt. That's okay. And, and I was more like heartbroken than you were. So, how can I, let the world know? To have a mindset like this, how to keep them, how did you keep going, as in how did you manage this really? Because to me it's a big thing. When somebody do not clear, I do get calls, and people say they cry and they feel demotivated and they feel no, this is not for them. But yours approach was totally different. So what was the thing that kept you going?
I think one of that character that in me was built by the research scientist job itself in my journey, because
Yes.
we have a lot of
But
failures.
everybody cannot be research scientist, Abid. So
Exactly, everybody can.
tell
So
me, what is the another real source of your secret?
I'll tell you one thing, okay? All the viewers out there, just listen to me. When people are so much excited to learn French, if
Mm,
you see, even with our team as well, sometime we are posting somebody is getting CLV5 success story, right?
yes.
If CLV5 can be success story, why cannot CLV6 be success story? That was my story, but that was in my mind.
Yes.
CLV5 can be success. For me, when I am teaching my student right now, when I am mentoring someone, I was kind of mentoring myself. 0 to A1 is a success story. A1
Mm,
to A2 is a success story. A2 to B1 is a success story. B1 to B2 is a success story, and then continues. So, since what I'm saying that if I'm not able to get it done, that means I'm at B1. It's not that I
yeah.
failed. I just have to get to B2. So for that, what I need, I need to practice more. I need to more organize my idea. I need to practice. I need to time my practice, and then I need to trust my mentor. That's it.
Yes. And I remember when I used to take your classes, Sabin, you were so determined and you were so cautious in taking feedback. That is something I was so impressed, because when I used to say something and then you used to note down everything, that was one key thing that I have observed in you, that you were taking feedback so well and you used to note down everything. You used to ask me, now is it fine? Now is it fine? That also I think is missing in many learners, that they do not listen to the feedback. They just maybe want to perform, but don't want to work on the errors.
True, true.
So that's what I think it distinct you out as well.
Mhm.
Now, Sabin, moving on to the another one, that when we take multiple attempts, it feels drained, it feels demotivated. I get that you feel every point is a success story, which is true in a way. But what will be your piece of advice to people who take premature attempts? Or they just feel, because I want to just go and take the exam to see where I stand. So, what will be your opinion about this?
Exactly. That is also the question that I get from a lot of my students as well.
Mm,
Like when you like the answer lies in your question itself. You know what they say. Okay, let me go and see where I stand,
mm,
and then you go and do the premature attempts. Then you will see where
yeah.
you stand.
Yeah.
Right? If you are getting level 6 means okay, you see where you stand. That was the reason actually you went for the exam. Now you know I am at level 6. Then what needs to be done? Then you come back to Ankita ma'am or with your
Mm,
mentor and say, see,
mm,
I stand at 6. Now give me certain specific ideas, specific improvisation. That is how I am
mm,
speaking while I am getting 6. This is how I am
mm,
speaking. This is how I am writing. What is missing
mm,
in this? Please tell me. And then you
mm.
fit on that. So trust me. And then I'm not encouraging to do the immature attempts, okay?
Same.
I'm not
I
encouraging
don't encourage.
exactly
Yeah.
because not everyone can take failure as a motivation. That can really confuse you. That can really demotivate you. I'll strongly suggest when your mentor says that go and give your exam, then only give your exam because first of all, every penny counts. And second of all, your mindset is what matters at the end, you know?
Yes, you're right. And these days, many people are not even getting dates, Sabin. for the exam center. That's another pain point. Now, because we are not getting the dates for the exams, some students are even booking multiple exam dates. Like I get a lot of such students now, wherein they have booked April, May, June already. And I am so shocked, and it obviously, my heart goes down, and I feel, oh no, like why do we have to even take so many attempts? It's not needed. So that means the student is already mentally prepared that I will take three attempts anyway.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that is
And
also, I feel, is a wrong
and
approach.
then in the meditation language, what is human brain is so powerful.
Mm,
Whatever is manifested, everything that we have created in this planet right now is all a manifestation of human mind. And whatever
mm.
has been manifestation is in human mind is bound to happen. So manifest that you will give one attempt, clear it, trust your mentor, it's gonna happen. Don't have to juggle around, you know.
Yes, that is so real. That is so real. Okay, Sabin. Now I want to really sum this up here, because it's very important to know when a student do not clear. They see the result. Not clear means CLB 6, and they wanted CLB 7. Now, what steps I should be asking them to do or take if they don't clear the exam, if they don't reach the goal of CLB 7?
Yeah, that is very important question as a mentor as well, and as a student also. That also goes in their mind, you know, before even
Yeah,
giving the exam. If I don't clear, that's what I'm gonna do. That also happens.
correct.
So the very first thing I would suggest is that after you give your exam, after you get like take 3 days break.
Hmm,
At least 3 days break. Don't look at French at all. At least give your body and mind some relaxation,
hmm,
and then if you are not confident that you will clear, don't stop
hmm.
until you're waiting for the result. Keep, and then after
Yeah.
3 days, you already know that how you have done your exam, right? How you already
Hmm,
gone you have done. So you start looking onto that. Start looking onto your previous notes. Will come on notes as well. We'll look onto the notes. Okay, these are the things that I studied, but I was not able to produce in the exam. This is the aspect of
hmm,
writing that I wanted to, but why I was not able to produce. Like, ask those questions instead of just jumping into another attempt. Instead of just
hmm,
asking your mentor, okay, mentor, what's not happening? Just ask yourself, look at your notes by yourself. Okay, this is because you know yourself much more than your mentor. Because you are
correct.
the one, you are maybe most probably you are spending 1 hour or 2 hour a week with your mentor, but you are
Hmm,
spending with yourself at least 3 hours, 4 hours a day, right? So every sentences that you are writing, okay, this is what I want to write, this is how I, if this kind of question comes, then this is how I want to express myself. And was I able to express? If I am not able to express, then what is lacking? So if you already formulate those kind of question, and the day the results will come, then you will know.
hmm.
If the results are the way you expected, like CLB 8, then you know that okay, I was able to express. Okay,
Yes.
if not, I was not able to express this. I was not able to express this. Okay, this sentence would have been like this paragraph would have been formulated in a better way. Then you go and talk to your mentor and say, look, mentor, I think this is the problem that I have. What do you think? And then you sit together and come together and then give another at least 30 days time frame, and then at least some time, hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day, depending on your schedule, and then get it done. So, and then I trust me, who I have given like TCF exam 2 3 times, and then at least 2 times I have got CLV 8.
Hmm.
So and then I know that to get CLV 8 we need to get this thing done. If we get this thing done, CLV 8 will anyway it will reflect in their results.
Yes, for sure. And now I also want to understand, when you were doing writing, writing was actually the main pain point for you,
Yep, yep,
besides speaking little bit. So
yeah,
writing, I think, started when you started learning with us, and Chandra sir was your mentor.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I want to understand, how did you form your writing, and what obstacles you overcame? What were your ways and strategies? Because that would help a bigger audience who is doing writing, and what tools to use, how to work on that structure. So this is something that I want to understand next.
Okay. You know, can I be truthful to you for now? Like, because I was
Yes,
hiding
please.
something while I was
Yes, for
in,
sure.
since I was like obviously in my workplace, I was using DeepL translator to translate the writing, Is English
Mm.
writing to French writing, and then sending message to the like my colleague, right?
Yes.
And then when
Yes.
I started writing, I had this perception that I know writing.
Oh my God.
Okay, I only had the perception, okay? But
Okay.
when I really started, and then I found out that, oh my God, I didn't know writing at
Yeah.
all. I can see the accent, I can read the accent. I don't know how to, like, even like I say, for example, one very nice word that we usually use in the exam is profondemo,
Huh.
right? Profondemo. See, if
Huh.
I want to write that profondemo was coming in my mouth, coming in my brain, but it was not coming in my fingertips.
Oh.
And then I was like, kind of in the beginning, since Chandra sir, and you already know that Savin has this much level of French. And then I was myself shy to tell you that, okay, I don't have this level. I have to. So I was working, I was hiding this fact. Since I was hiding my fact, then I can hide it from you. But when results come out, result won't hide, right?
It won't. Yeah.
Exactly. So exactly that happens. So what I am saying right now is, especially in writing, a lot of people take it for granted.
Mm.
Since we are doing a lot of reading, listening, and speaking, we think that just we'll write this thing.
Mm.
But when it's the real time, you have to write in the time frame of within an hour, three
Yes.
tasks, three different way,
Yes.
and that's the
Yes.
reality test comes. And yes, you don't have the skills that you need. You need to build. So that was the huge challenge for me. And then the moment I stopped taking writing for granted, then I got CLV 7.
Very nice. But I also want to know, what were your strategies? Which tools did you use, and how you used to got them corrected? Because I have corrected, so I know everything. I want you to tell the world that
Exactly.
what
Okay.
was the
Mhm.
real way.
Exactly. That is also the question that answer that a lot of students wants to know,
Mm.
is that what are the materials that I use, right?
Yes, please.
Trust me, everyone. The materials given by the team of Ankita ma'am is enough to get CLV 8, CLV 9,
Thank you.
whatever is enough. If you want to
Yes,
explore, if you want to do a PhD in French, you can do a lot of things that
surely.
you want to do. Okay, but if you want to get a
Yes.
TCF exam done on time, then materials
Mm.
given by Ankita ma'am, because the way they have designed the course, like for particular individually, I'll say personalized course, that everybody has their own drive, and in each drive there is every day, every week there
Mm.
is a tracking of the progress, and every week what I am writing, every week what am I practicing for speaking, every week what
Mm.
I'm practicing for listening, every week what I'm practicing for reading, everything is there. And then all the verbs, all the required verbs, because if I just want to say, like, for example, the vocabulary related to health,
Mm.
if I just type that in chat GPT, I can get
Mm.
1000 vocabularies. Do
Yes.
we really
But we
use that?
can't use them.
Exactly. We won't use them. Then
Yeah.
whatever vocabulary that we'll use is needed for that. That thing, again, going back to the structure, structure, structure.
Yes.
And then keep your mind active
Yes.
during the exam.
That is so, so important.
Mm.
And I also want to know, and as in, I want you to tell the world that you managed the Google Doc so amazingly well, because that was so impressive. I even asked Sabin, can you share this doc with me? Because you had done tons of task one, tons of task two, tons of task three, and they were all so well organized. And if I see your level one, like the task one, or maybe done in the first few days, they are pathetic. Super pathetic. And I'm so proud of that, because you did not hide them, you did not remove them. When you wrote the first question, first answer, maybe it was not just per que vous allez bien, maybe it was just suis bien. So the error of that level to CLB 8 was just amazing. And I also want to show the world today the spelling errors you did. They were also amazingly pathetic. So amazingly pathetic. Like, Sabin, can you write this kind of a spelling? Really? But again, see, the power here is you had an option to send me the copy by doing so much of correction. But the copy used to be so authentic. This is how it is, and this is what it is. So
Exactly.
I know you tried to hide, but you couldn't, you were not successful. For sure. And that
Exactly.
was the best part, Sabin. You were so authentic. So that too, that this day was bound to happen.
Hmm.
And I am so glad it took time because that made you as you, and that made you ready for so many learners today whom you're already mentoring today, because you know what doesn't work.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that is something so inspiring. But
Exactly.
now, when you used to write all this, I have another question to ask. Did you used to time yourself that I have to write all these tasks in 1 hour?
For the writing exam, when I have to practice for the exam, yes, I definitely time
Okay.
myself for an hour. Because I
Okay.
know that in the exam, if we don't practice that way, 1 hour
Hmm.
timing, at least you don't have to do it every day, 1 hour practice, at least once a
Yeah.
week, 1 hour
Hmm.
practice. This is my exam. I say is to set up the timer, and
Yeah.
then I have to write that for sure. I used to do that. And then you know
Hmm.
what?
Hmm.
Reality only comes then. Then
Hmm.
only I realized, like, all those, remember all those spelling mistake thing that I was telling you?
Hmm.
Oh, Ankita ma'am, I
Hmm.
found my problem. Like that is a moment of eureka moment for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I found
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
problem. This is done now. What is,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you ask me, what is the problem, Savin? And then I am making 9 spelling mistakes in each task. I'm so proud.
Yeah. Yeah.
and then,
Yes.
and to all the aspirants out there, and my spelling mistakes were not for the fancy word. All my ambutiyas, all the
Ambutiyaj. I
ambutiyas,
remember.
everything
Yeah.
were good. What was the mistake? I was making mistake in the accord,
Hmm.
plural, singular, basic. If I look at my mistake, okay, come on.
Hmm.
Like for example, I was making
Yeah.
one of the mistake that I still remember. I was making is that long étranger. I
Hmm.
was making the spelling mistake with the long. Come on,
Imagine,
right?
right? And
Imagine.
today we are making fun of our mistakes. Oh
Exactly,
my
exactly.
God.
And then that is the moment I realized, okay. And then next thing what I did is, and then I started that 1 hour timing again. What I
Yeah.
was doing, since my speaking was good, what I was doing in writing, also I also figured it out. Why
Yes.
I was making those mistakes is that since my speaking was good, I was writing in a pace of speaking.
Hmm.
So that I was not really looking into the word really carefully and breaking it
Hmm.
down. Then
Hmm.
later, what I started when I started write that 1 hour specific prep time, how I used to write, just pek bhujale, like
Buzaleme.
literally word by word, sentence by sentence, phrase by phrase, full stop by full stop, singular, masculine, plural,
Everything.
masculine, femina, everything by, and then at the day when I gave the exam, it just happened. I was so proud of the
Amazing.
day when I gave exam, and then I cleared it in February, right? Writing, I cleared it in February,
Yeah.
and then I had to give again because that one I only gave it for the TCF Quebec to see if
TCF,
I,
yeah, Quebec,
yeah,
Quebec.
yeah, Quebec,
Hmm.
and then I cleared it, and then I told Angita ma'am, I did it. Now I have to do it all together. It will be done. Don't worry. And then
Yeah.
it
And
happened.
then it was done very
Exactly,
swiftly.
exactly, exactly.
So, Sabin, now speaking was never a challenge, but before I let you go, I also wanted to tell us about a little bit of a speaking. Did you follow any sort of a structure? Because speaking was always good, but you were not perfect.
Hmm.
And when you joined us with Kanika ma'am was your mentor,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she had also had a hard time in working on the pronunciation.
Hmm.
Reason I'm saying so because this is the stage where many people are residing today. How
Hmm.
did you work on your pronunciation? And what were your ways to deal with the speaking part, please?
First of all, for the pronunciation.
Mm.
For the pronunciation, that I was like really, really, since I was living in Quebec, that was also helpful for me. Why?
Mm.
Because in Quebec, 100 people have 100 accents of French.
Yeah.
First thing I was doing is that I don't care.
Mm.
That mentality. I don't care mentality. Of
Mm.
what I don't care? I don't care of making errors in the beginning days.
Mm.
And then I was making errors. And then while I was making errors, I was like literally record. My phone is full of my videos. When I was speaking, I have to delete a lot of them now. And then I was recording my video. I was making like for example, instead of full 5 minutes, I was speaking for 2 minutes, and then I
Mm.
was rewatching that video for another 2 hours. okay, this is where I was
Oh.
making pronunciation mistake. This is where I was making pronunciation mistake. And then I was like literally writing down all that's the script. And then what I was saying, I was writing down, I was underlining them. And then I was reading them again and again and again and again and again in my paper.
Mm.
And then that's why you can see in my Google Drive, there is everything is written, even speaking, each section,
Oh my
Cozy is written,
God.
Sante is written, Education is written, Culture is written, everything is
Yes.
written.
Yes.
Why?
All the
Because I used to
domain.
write down everything. And then I
Mm.
used to
Mm.
repeat everything, and then with audio, video. Maybe Chandra sir also has his all WhatsApp full with my all audios. I have to send him, okay, Chandra sir, audio. And that is how
Oh
I
my
wrote
God.
the pronunciation is like, okay. And then another thing I wanted to, and then one confidence that I got by myself by giving the exams as well is that is the thing, like the multiple attempts that helped me is like in the exam, I found the cue. What is
Mm.
the cue for the success of the TCF exam, especially in this speaking? Is that there are multiple aspects. First thing is timing.
Mm.
We really have to respect the time.
Mm.
And
Mm.
then, okay, when if I respect the time, then it's half of the job is done.
Mm.
And second thing is that structure.
Mm.
TCF exam or any French exam right now in which we have there is all about structure. If I give
Mm.
them, okay, I want to in this paragraph I want to talk about health, then I talk about health. For
Yeah.
example, this is the example, and then I put the example and then conclude each paragraph, and then go to
Mm.
another paragraph. Then structure is very important.
Yes.
Chandra sir literally drilled me for the structure. I'm so proud
Yes.
of that. And so he literally drilled me for the structure. That's really great. And then the third thing that I realized is that I don't need C2.
Yes.
I
That
need
is also very
exact,
big mindset.
exact. I
Yes.
don't need C2.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was kind of aiming for C1. Okay, I don't want to lie. I was aiming for C1. But the thing is that, and then even I was aiming for C1. What the strategy is that even if I make 10% mistake, it is 90%.
Mm.
Right? So it's
Yes.
okay. I can make 10% mistake. If
Yeah.
I respect the structure, if I respect the time, if I answer the question obviously,
Mm.
and then
Yes.
some mistakes on the spelling, some mistake of grammar, it is bound to happen. If I make even
Yes.
10% mistake, it's not a problem because I'll anyway get 90%.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
mentality, what it helped me once I realized that what it helped me is that especially during the exam when since I was looking onto my video, I had this ability to catch my mistake on the spot. And then in the exam, when I was making that mistake, I knew that okay, I made a mistake.
This is the
This
mistake I
is wrong,
made.
but I don't care. Next one, I'll make it right, and then I move on. So
Wow.
that really helped me in this speaking, And then
Amazing
for all the
strategy. Loved
aspirants,
it.
that is really good. The moment you learn to move on from one sentence, and then by that doesn't mean that every move on you make new mistakes.
Yes.
Sure, you have to limit your mistake, but next
Mm.
sentence I'll make whole sentence correct with correct pronunciation. I already made one mistake there. I'm gonna recover in the next sentence. It's good. It's done.
It's done then.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
This is amazing. Never heard this way. Amazing. Thank you so much, Sabin.
Mhm.
Before we close this, what is one piece of advice that you would like to go ahead and give to the world today?
Yeah, I have a lot of things to tell. Always, I have a lot of things to tell. But to the world, what I want to say that is that you are trying. That means you are already making a progress. You are attempting by doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Somebody has family, right? Somebody has their family to take care of. Somebody has their parents to take care of back there in their home country. There are a lot of things going on all the things going on in your life. You are trying. That is already a success. First of all,
That's
and
amazing.
only real failure is not
Hmm.
trying. For me, only real failure is not trying. That is what I can do is I'll do my best. And what is bound to happen, it will happen. And remember, again, I'm going to tell you this is all the greatest thing that we have done in this planet from the civilization of human being is nothing but the manifestation of our mind. And
Wow.
let's use this mind to manifest that. Eh, Don't aim for say CLV 7, CLV 8. We'll all get CLV 8. These days, I am training my all my students to say, Savin sir will train you for CLV 8, okay, not CLV 7. Is it okay with you? And trust me, with all this motivation, everything, you will get demotivated by the end of the day. When you lie down in your bed, you are tired, exhausted, whatever. Your body is giving up, your mind is giving up. You know, sometimes you don't have time for your family. You are so much depressed. A lot of things will happen. It is bound to happen. And there is a golden formula for that.
Hmm.
Every morning you wake up, reset, restart, refocus. That's it every single day until you have your TCF result and send it to Ankita ma'am. Hey, Ankita ma'am, I made
This
it.
is done.
This is
We
done.
made it.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's
I
what.
love that. Totally. Thank you so much, Sabin. This is such an inspirational podcast. And I do recommend everybody today to watch this because you have really nailed it. Not just the TCF. TCF is just one phenomena of life, but I think the mindset shift that you've given us today in this podcast is just incredible, Sabin. We wish you
Exactly.
a great success ahead. And it was just amazing to sit with you today on this coffee chat. And it was totally amazing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much once again.
Thank you very much once again. And to close, I also want to add one more thing.
Yes, please.
This is also the moment of kind of revelation. While me myself was preparing for my TCF exam, while me myself was not able to clear all the section together at once, one of the student whom I was training while I was studying, he cleared
Yes.
the TCF exam with CLV 8 before I did.
Oh, yes, we
Exactly,
discussed that. Yeah, in the class.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
and that was again a great moment. But I also remember, since we are now closing, that you used to manifest about a podcast also, because in the
exactly,
classes you used to tell, "Ma'am, once I'll clear, I'll say this in the podcast. I'll say that in the podcast."
exactly,
So
exactly,
I think you
exactly.
were already ready for this moment.
Yep. Anyways, thanks to you, thanks to everyone, and thanks to God, and thanks to my family member, my all my friends who have been with me, and obviously thanks to my spouse who was always pushing me to get my better version of myself in a many different ways. Thanks to everyone, because at the end we'll get things done at the end. So at the
Yes.
end, what matters is who were there with us during this journey. So thank you very much.
Oh,
Thanks to everyone who has been there.
thank you, Sabin. Thank you so much.